Hey, it is Friday, April 25th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps, where we as a collective trying to figure out this thing called life, small business owners, martial arts school owners in particular. We want to create profitable businesses. We want to create sustainable businesses that allow us to create the lives we want, right? Freedom of time, freedom to spend with our family, freedom to pursue other things. That freedom. And freedom comes at a great cost. The sacrifice you have to make as a small business owner to get where you want to be requires a lot of skills. And one of the big things we all face is coming into those summer months, right? Hasn't changed. It's always been that way. And we're going to talk a lot about maximizing your summer to grow your dojo, your martial arts school, all of the above. Cool. Let's begin by thanking our sponsors. And as you are coming aboard, I want to hear you. I want to know you're here. I want to give you a shout out. So let's thank our sponsors. Tusa. They have a new line of sparring gear, which we're looking at. It's very, very cool. I like it. They have uniforms. They have training equipment. We were one of their first clients back in the 90s. Can you believe that? My dad was one of their first clients when they first opened. So it's great to continue that legacy between me and their son now, Gunny Kang. Market Muscle, Steven Reinstein. He just launched their full CRM system. I'm impressed with Steven. Always innovating, always bettering their products, always doing more. My studio, who I consider at this point the best CRM system out there. Using Stripe with them has changed the game tremendously. We just recently corrected getting payouts much faster, and I think that's a good thing. Kids Love Life Skills, we're now subscription-based. For $99 a month, you can have access to 40 plus life skills, coloring sheets, student parent discovery sheets, life talks, aka mat chats, just handouts to train your instructors, just a very robust character development system, and you have full access to it and discounts on badges and things like that for only $99 a month. So make sure you put the link for that in there. All right, we have LC Accounting. LC Accounting, my sister Letitia's in Texas at the Carlos Machado Spring Training, as is Adam from Kin Creative. He's out there as well, and they're sharing and learning and growing, and what a great opportunity. So again, if you need a great accountant, bookkeeper, look at my sister Letitia at LC Accounting and Kin Creative, who I consider not only the new kid on the block, but the most innovative when it comes to digital media. We do not use stock photos. We do not use AI generated copy, right? And that's very important. Everything I study, everything I look at, as much as people rely upon AI because it's convenient and it does give you some of the best information, you will get flagged. It'll diminish your SEO presence if everything at your website is stock photos, AI generated copy. If every ad you do does that, behave that way. I had a guy reach out to me, and I think it's a matter of learning, but every one of the ads this agency put out for him were animated kids in karate uniforms. And my first red flag there is it's not the kid looking at the ad. Right? If I'm a mom and I got my cell phone and I'm scrolling through my news feed, just looking at stuff and commenting, liking, and up pops your animated kid in a karate uniform. Hey, I suffer from baby brain all day long. My kids got me watching Paw Patrol and Sesame Street or whatever. The last thing I want to see at 11 at night when I got my glass of wine scrolling through my feed is another animated ad. So again, because people don't know what you don't know, they buy into that and pay money for stuff like that. And I'm going to raise my hand and say, stop it. I'm partnered with a digital media company. I take pride on writing copy. You guys out there, stop it with the AI generated copy and those animated graphics. I don't get it. I don't get it. You hear me? I don't get it. So what do we got coming up, Marco? It's Time Live Freedom, November 8th through 11th, right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. It is a 4-day immersive. And I do say immersive. People make pilgrimages here from England, Germany. I think we had someone come as far as Switzerland, Australia, Canada. And they come here because it is life-changing. 4 days. We cover everything from personal development, wealth building, infrastructure of your school, building your brand, staff training, curriculum design, everything it takes, I believe. Because for me, success is not one thing, it's everything. And so I'm very mindful of helping empower people to not only wear a lot of hats in their business, but to wear them really, really, really well. So the link's there, only 20 people, 4 days. Get signed up now. I encourage you to do it right now. And of course, our mentoring program, which is just, we're good people finding our way, working with good people. And I just posted recently the difference between a mentor and a consultant. We're in it for the long haul. We're in it for your well-being. And just look at the post, because that post, if you sign up before May 1st, you get your second month free. Yep, it's our gift to you, because we want to show you and prove to you that what we can offer you has legs and will impact your business tremendously. So look for that as well. All right. Bob, what's up, Bob Poole, Goals Martial Arts? Is anyone else coming aboard? If you're here, tell us who you are, where you're tuning in from, what's the name of your school, and we'll give you a shout out. And then you'll be immortalized on our YouTube channel. Anytime somebody watches this podcast, they will learn your name and your school. Cool. All right. So we're talking about maximizing those summers, right? Put it in the comments if you're concerned about the summer months. I don't know who isn't. I mean, it's pretty standard, right? For all of us. Unless you are strictly or leaning more into after school and summer camps, right? There's people out there that do that. Hey, Mrs. Tina Family Taekwondo Plus. I love it. I love it. Family Taekwondo Plus. There's the whole movement out there, and I praise them, Dwayne and Laura Spires, for what they do with what they do. They take schools, and these schools become predominantly after school programs and day camps, and that's their primary source. They still do martial arts, but the primary source seems to be after school and day camp, and they do it very well. They do it really well. So if then summer's not a concern for you, but I would think if in our case, where 75% of our revenue is traditional martial arts programs, that we need to be hyper focused on that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that for your summer needs and the different strategies that we've utilized that worked before, may not work this month, may work next month, right? So you just realize things get fatigued, things get old, you got to rotate through. You got to be very mindful of that. So I'm going to give you everything across the board that we've used celebrating 25 years in San Francisco, 10 years in Millbrae. I'm going to share as much as I can about that. All right. So first of all, the first thing I recommend for us right away is summer camps, right? Some people say, and here's the cons. Number one, I don't want to burn out the staff. Okay. I don't want to burn out the staff. Hire college kids. Hire your high school students that are black belts that don't teach. I think that's a very poor excuse for not wanting to build a program from nothing. The first summer, I did summer day camp, and I was still teaching full time. And I'd have somebody come in the aftercare, and we'll discuss that one in a minute. I had 7 to 10 kids every week for 10 weeks. Please don't do 1 week. Please don't do 3 weeks, because it's convenient. If you're going to go for it and do it right. And that's the convenience and the consistency. Parents know that you're there. If some organic magic thing, you have 1 week of weapons camp in the middle of the summer, from 9 a.m. to 3, because you want everybody out of there so you can teach classes, not a good day. When I finished camp at 3, I had a high school kid come in and sit with the kids and fundamentally babysit until they were picked up, all the way up until 6 o'clock. Why? Who needs you the most? The working parent is who needs you the most, people. So when you're doing this 9 to 12 or 9 to 3, these really off hours, I am not leaving work at 3 o'clock to come pick up my kid. And then you're going to nickel and dime me by charging me for aftercare and charging me for early drop off. Camps don't do that so much anymore, but there was a time camps did that pretty religiously. Camp is from 9 to 3. Awesome. And for early drop off, it's $20. Late pickup, it's $5 for every hour. Just that kind of stuff does not help the person that's budget conscious, right? That needs that camp, because I'm a working parent. You with me? You with me now? So in an ideal world, if I'm going to offer a camp has to be from roughly 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Non-negotiable. That way you really get the low-hanging fruit of the working parent who needs you the most. Cool? Stay with me. So another way to work that camp, if you do not have the physical space, that's also a huge bone of contingency, right? I don't have the physical space. So I need to end camp by 3 o'clock. Well, I have a solution for you. You can do a 9 to 3 camp, but at that point, that's 6 hours. You're better off doing a half-day camp. Keep the door open. Moms can drop the kids off anytime they want. There's a little bit logistically that can be a challenge there, but you're going to find these moms get weary during the summer. They want to go get their nails done. They want to go do their yoga class. All of that's disrupted when these kids are home full time during the summer, especially if it's a stay at home mom now, mind you. So to know that I have the convenience to schedule brunch, with my friends still, and I can drop them off at your half day camp, that's a beautiful thing. Because most of those moms don't need full days. You with me? They love the half day thing. Again, logistically can be a challenge, right? If you only staff for 10 kids and all of a sudden 10 show up at your door for a half day camp. But it's on site, right? I wouldn't do field trips or anything like that with a half day camp. It'd be heavy life skills, martial arts laden. We do things like dodgeball and Legos and things like that kids love. But I would make sure that in that half day camp, they have that flexibility. You with me? So it's not impossible because we do need the additional revenue. So that's a big one for me. Camps, we do 10 weeks of camps every day from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Right now, we're averaging about 20 kids per week, which is decent because, we're still a martial arts school and our focus is on martial arts and we tend to lean into that. But even in our configuration, it's a whole completely separate room. It doesn't spill over into the martial arts classes. It doesn't disrupt the mom who sits there every day at 3:30 now when she brings her kid in for class, right? It's a real zoo. When I'm used to coming there at 3:30 and sitting down and chilling out and logging onto your Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden I've got, another 20 kids sharing the mat with my kids' class. Those things are going to just hurt both sides, the camp as well as your kids' class. So please don't do that, right? So again, if you don't have the space, then it's totally fine. Cool. Let me take a deep breath. And as you come aboard, say hello. Say hello. Tell me who you are, where you're tuning in from. And of course, if you have a question, ask those questions. I love questions. I love your comments. I love the interaction. It's just such a cool thing, right? So if you're coming aboard, tell me who you are and where you're tuning in from. So we talked about camps. Now, you're a little behind the ball on camps, right? Camps are something you should be promoting as soon as camp ends with some kind of steep discount. So when those camps end in August for us, boom, right away, we put out the new camps with some kind of discount. Why? They're all fun. Camp was awesome. I want to go there next year. You get that impulse buy. But ideally from January on, we've been promoting Facebook ads. We started running some Google ads. I have ads at Nextdoor. We're sending email blasts and texts out to our parents to our CRM system. We have flyers all over the school. So we are actively promoting camp. And with that said, we're still only at 60%. We only take 36 kids per week. In an ideal world, I want all 36 spots filled for all 10 weeks. Now, 4th of July week, we do a shorter camp at a better rate. With me? So we want to book it out at 36. But it's still not too late. I mean, if you're going to do the half day and now you're dealing with the mom with the impulse buy who's not planning camps all summer, that's who your client would be, right? And I know you're saying, well, I don't want to be a glorified babysitter, but let's say you did a half day camp at $90, right? And you got 10 kids. That's $900 for 4 or 5 hours work. Do that 5 days a week, right? We're now at $4,500. Do that for 10 weeks. That's an extra $45,000 in your pocket. Would that work? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Think about that for a moment. You with me? So again, I think when there's adversity and people tell me summer months are slow and they suck and nobody likes them, well, then it's an opportunity. Much like the stock market, stocks are down. Now's the time to buy. Cool. All right. So that's the strategy there, number one. And that's what most of us do. We will do summer day camps to help fill out the revenue we need to generate, right? Big one. Write this down. Do not change your class schedule. Do not. Why? Because I've been paying you for, in our case, $269 all year long, right? All year long, $269. I show up at 4:15 on Tuesdays and Thursdays for classes. All of a sudden, you're now telling me I need to come Monday and Wednesday at 4:15, and you're going to double up my year one class with a year two class, I don't get it. You've now devalued what I pay you for. You with me on that? Are you with me? Hey, Oscar, Michelle, Legacy MMA. What's happening, you guys? Great to have you here. A lot of people do that because they go, well, my classes are smaller. Yeah, more the reason to work on that retention, little more personal service. I praise them. I'm so glad you're here today. How come the classes are smaller? Well, it's summer break. A lot of the kids are gone for the summer, but you're here, and I'm glad you are. And we lean into that, and we just serve them at such a higher level, right? We do. So do not change your class schedule, please, because the other thing you do when you do that, you might be cutting some of your staff's hours. Please don't do that. And going back to hours per minute with day camp. So we have the college kids, high school kids come run the camp from roughly 7:30 setup until about 12:30. Then my teaching staff comes in and teaches martial arts to the campers from 1 to 2:30. Take a break, they start classes at 3:30. So what we've really added onto the martial arts instructor's regular schedule is what? An hour and a half, 90 minutes, an extra 90 minutes, times that by 5 days. We got 450 minutes, right? Divide that by 60. What do we got roughly? Another 7 hours to their schedule. That's all you've added, and they're happy to do it. They're out of school, they're back home from college. An extra 7 hours will not burn out your team. Now, if it's you showing up at 7:45 and running that camp all the way until 3 o'clock and then going into teaching until 8:30, yeah, you're going to get burnt out. But please don't let it be an excuse not to do camps when you have resources like a career center at a high school. You have a career center at the local college. Look for somebody at college into child development, right? It's there. Just do not say you're not going to run camps because you don't want to burn out your team. It's lame. Now, let's go back to scheduling. I do recommend in some areas that you might add a morning class. What? Because if I need to climb out of the swimming pool at 3 o'clock and I'm there with all my buddies and we're chilling and we're swimming and you tell me I got to go to karate, I hate karate now. That's it. Long story short. But if I can still have my karate and mom can drop me off at 9 a.m. and go to Trader Joe's or something, for an hour in the morning, that's a good day. That's a good day. And then I have the rest of the day for me and my friends. So I would consider adding that. I know people say, wow, I never thought of that. Well, think about that. If you're somewhere really hot, Florida, Texas, or even some parts of here in California during the summer get really hot, no kid is going to stop hanging out with their friends at 3 o'clock to come to your martial arts class, especially if they're in a pool, right? And they're having fun. Yeah, let's just put them on hold for the summer. We don't know what our summer plans are. So I just want to put it on hold. And in our case, we're a subscription-based model. It's very easy to put it on hold. And you guys who think you're getting it on the back end, you're still putting it on hold. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to keep charging you and give you 2 months at the end of your contract. What? That doesn't make any sense to me because they still get 2 months where you're not collecting revenue, right? So they're not there for 2 months during the summer. You're still collecting. They come back. Their contract expires after a year, and they got 2 months fundamentally without income coming in. So either way, you're out for 2 months, right? Either way. And those 2 months, you're still not collecting revenue. So I think that's a very weird concept that people do. But if it works for you, more power to you. Cool. So we might consider adding some morning classes. Cool. Now, here's another one. If you don't do camps, here's one. Hey, Alvin. What's happening, Alvin? Good to have you here, Alvin, sir. Awesome. So another thing I would consider, write this down, and this is low-hanging fruit. I want you to go to every day camp in your community. The ones that offer field trips, you invite them to come to your martial arts school for a confidence building workshop. Think about it, right? They're always looking for field trip destinations. And I think a martial arts confidence building workshop could be a heck of a lot more fun than going to do laser tag or watching a movie in the mall, especially if you do that confidence building workout and you leave room, workshop, and you leave room for dodgeball, relay races, some other fun games, and maybe you top it off by serving pizza right? A Little Caesars pizza is what, $10, right? Cheese pizza and juice boxes. Again, all I need in exchange is that you let me hand out this handout. You want to go a step further? You could make it a destination that people pay for. Sure. If you want to do it that way, to me, it's part of my advertising dollar. And if I can do that, um, oh, it's your birthday. It's Alvin's birthday, and he's choosing to share it with us. Let me break out a little song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alvin. Happy birthday to you. Awesome. Now, so if you choose to be a destination that you want them to pay for, then you got to put a nice flyer together. Go to Canva, put a flyer together, figure out what you want to charge for it, and you can do that too. I don't recommend it. I don't, because if they're going to spend money, parents are more likely to spend money on the water park or laser tag than your confidence building workshop. But if you can offer it for free, it offers a lot of value to that camp, right? To that camp. So think about that one. The opposite of that is you volunteer your services to go to that camp and do a confidence building workshop, right? You don't have the luxury of schools being in session, so you don't get school talks, you don't get any of those things. Hey, what's up, Jesse? I'm coming out to Vegas today, man. I'm going to see AC/DC tomorrow. Yep. Yep. My older son is meeting me in Vegas, so otherwise I'd see everybody, but it's just me and my son, so we're going to spend some quality family time together. But I'm going to see AC/DC tomorrow night at the Allegiant, the big arena. Good to have you here, Jesse. So again, I can offer my services to all of these day camps and do a confidence building workshop or a bullying workshop, right? We don't have the public schools in session. They're out. You're not doing gym teacher of the day or confidence building or none of it. So these kids are still in camps though. So got to put a nice flyer together. Put it together. Canva has some good templates you could use and make something, and you could go to these camps as well. They can come to you or you could go to them, and you could make a whole summer out of it. You could be in rotation because each week is a different set of kids, right? You could lock onto one camp and have them come to you every week for 10 weeks, right? And do that every couple of hours and do 2 to 3 camps a day. And that it's a great way to generate leads. All you ask in return is that each kid takes this home, right? You put me in an email blast at your camp. You put my link, my backlink to my website at your camp landing page. Build that relationship. It has legs, right? See, we don't need to do that because we have camps going on and we don't have the space. We don't have the staff. So that works for us. But if you don't have that luxury, you don't have the space for camps, there's still a way to get to these kids and generate new leads, new students, and impact the community at the same time and provide a great service. Everybody got that one? Questions? Questions? Josh, what's up, Josh? Oh, our Miss Charlotte must be getting so big. I miss Miss Charlotte. Little cutie patootie. So that's another big one, right? That's another big one that works really well. No, really well. I think with the kids being out of school, we have a lot more flexibility. So is it possible for the kids that can't do camps, maybe their parents are a little more budget conscious and they don't have that luxury? Yeah, again, would I do a buddy day from 1 to 3? Absolutely. On a weekday? Absolutely. Kids are out of school. So it gives you a lot more flexibility in scheduling. And imagine if we use it as a retention event. And I did this buddy day or this ninja dodgeball or whatever from 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3. And I made it free to my existing members. Wow. Wow. Right? And the parent just gets 2 hours to go do grocery shopping or do things. 'Cause remember, a lot of these parents are just overwhelmed. I went from having a kid gone all day long at school to freaking in my lap 24/7 for the whole summer. And I can't go on vacation every day. So there's going to be a lot of those spaces. And if you make it as convenient as possible, as and accessible as possible, the potential can be there. So let's look at that for a moment. I have a day camp come into my school from 9 to 11. I take a lunch break. From 1 to 3, I have an in-house event. We'll call it dodgeball. Again, free to my existing students. They bring a friend, $25, right? Why is the weekday so important? because that's when moms are going to start getting pretty thin, right? Because kids are here all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. Another one I would consider, I'm writing the ad for it now for Kin Creative, is Millbrae moms. Does your teen summer look something like this? They're up all night on their devices. They may, if you're lucky, roll out of bed at 11 a.m., grab something to eat, sit on their devices again until you come home, at 4 o'clock. Boom, let's change that. Let's get them up, out the door by 9 a.m. in our fitness kickboxing classes, staying fit and school ready all summer long. Boom, right? Again, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. There are a lot of opportunities out there, and it doesn't have to necessarily conflict with your regular schedule because these kids are out of school all day long. There's potential. If that wasn't the case, why would you have all of these camps, right? Why would you? If there wasn't potential? Why are all these summer camps out there? Because these parents are going nuts, right? And they got to work. Again, how do you want to orchestrate that? And then after I do that buddy day internal workshop from 1 to 3, I take a break and start classes at 4. See, so there is potential there. You just have to believe it's there, right? You have to believe it's there. You have to mine for the gold, and that's a mindset. Every community is a little different, but it's not something. It's not something I would turn a blind eye to. Another big one for us during the summers is we want to do things like a parents' night out, again, giving the mom and dad a break. We do a lot of family fun days. There's one around 4th of July. We do one in August. It's a great opportunity for retention. Great opportunity for retention. I do know during the summer, right? Sunday, a lot of kids are in the parks with their parents. That's not going to change. It's still that way, right? Parents still got to work Monday through Friday. The kids in the camp. Saturday's a little chill day. Sunday, we go to the park and brunch and things like that. That was standard protocol in our family when our kids was younger, right? So what's stopping you from getting a Kung Fu Panda costume, right? We're going to get some fruit snacks, staple them, good organic, good for you fruit snacks, staple them to a rack card. Small rack card, call to action, scan this QR code, come take a free class or whatever your trial offer is. Get a couple of those bubble guns, get a boom box, you can hang on you, playing kids music, right? You come walking into that park, you got bubbles blowing, you got music blaring, Kung Fu Pandas dancing, you go into the busiest playground at 11 a.m., pass out fruit snacks, dance with the kids, take some pictures, boom, you're out of there in 15, 20 minutes, off to the next park. Get 3 or 4 parks into rotation and rotate. Okay? Or you can sit there and cry all summer about why your summer's not great. And we used to do all those things. We don't really have to do them now because we're extremely established. We have the budget for marketing. But what you lack in money, you make up for in creativity. There's another one right there. Okay? And all of these are lead generating events, ways to generate revenue, right? They're all there. They're all there. Now, going back to the park thing, we don't need permits because we're in and out. We're not setting up a table. We're not pitching a tent. We're not hanging out there all day. We're in and we're out. So that saves us a lot of money on not having to talk to the city and get permits for those things. You can physically think of the busiest part of town on a Sunday where people are eating brunch and stuff. Walking down the sidewalk is Kung Fu Panda. You got kids wearing your, in our case, our One Martial Arts t-shirt, and they're passing out these rack cards, right? Nobody says no to a kid. They'll all take it. And they're all attracted to Kung Fu Panda. Every little kid is going to run up to Bubbles and run up to Kung Fu Panda. We've done that too. The busiest areas. It's not illegal to walk down the street. It's not illegal to pass something out. They don't have to take it, but it's illegal to put them on the windshields of cars. It's littering. It's illegal to do certain things like that. Okay, so be mindful of that. Good. Another thing you can do, sometimes it brings a lot of traffic, but may not generate students after the summer. Do a great summer special. 3 months in a uniform for $297, right? It's $99 a month for 3 months. You can't put it on hold. From the day you sign up, it's good for 3 months. So say I run that special from June 1st to August 1st. You sign up on July 31st, it's good for 3 months at that price. 3 months and a uniform, $297. Boom. And with the convenience of digital media, you can run an ad right now at Nextdoor, Google Ads, Facebook. It's so easy to do that, right? So easy. Advertise it internally, emails, texts. It can all be done. I can make a flyer, go hang it in every laundromat with a QR code on it. Go to Jamba Juice, there's a community bulletin board. Go to Starbucks, there's a community bulletin board. And I'm sure if you look hard enough, in the park and rec, there's a community bulletin board. And you can hang these things up. You want to go a step further? Do some door hangers for your summer special, 3 months in uniform, $297, right? Keep your kids active and sharp, and school ready all summer long. That's a standard marketing that we've used many, many times, right? Because parents, my kids on their device all summer, they're not fit, they're not exercising. Nope, we're going to keep them fit, active, and school ready. Use that alone. That's a great tagline. You know why? Because it addresses a concern for every mom out there. It addresses that concern, right? Every parent, every parent. I don't want you just sleeping around watching TV all summer, right? I remember my dad saying that to us. So I think it's a very standard one. But again, you're a little bit behind, a little bit. So to do door hangers and physically walk through neighborhoods, you can do that legally. That is not littering, but do not put anything in their mailbox. That is like big, big, big trouble. That's infringement, on the post office because you're not paying postage, right? But again, I want to be doing something versus nothing. I don't focus on what I can't control. What can I not control? People going on hold, people going on vacation, right? I cannot control that. What I can control is putting my, pounding the pavement, doing the good work, and if anything, building my school and getting momentum when they come back in August. All these things generate leads. All these things are potential students. All these things offer the opportunity. Cool? And if you're coming aboard, say hello. Tell me who you are, where you're tuning in from. I'm going to take a deep breath. So far, what are your big takeaways? What are one thing you can take and act on? One thing. What's one thing you can take and act on? Anybody? One thing that just stands out at you, jumps at you, inspires you to go, yeah, I'm going to do that like right now. Anybody? All right. So you put it in the comments. I want to hear it. All right. StreamYard can be a little lagging when you actually write a comment, but it'll get there and we'll flash it up on the screen. So another one, if you do want to throw your hands up and say this is summer and this is the way summers are, then I hope you budgeted for it. I really do. We know, like any business, there's good months and there's slow months. And you want to save for a rainy day. So you could have been like a squirrel, hoarding nuts and putting away money for these slower summer months. When you do your budget, be mindful of that, right? That's just summer. Summer's the way summers are. That's it, right? You're okay with that too, if that is the case. And if that is the case, then you better put money away. That's simple. I'm very challenged when someone reaches out to me and says, I need 10 students or I'm not going to make rent. I'm going, no, you need to rethink your business plan completely. Completely. You need to rethink your business plan. Right? Have a line of credit, have extra money in the bank, do what you got to do because it's the volatility of running a small business. Cool? So, what am I doing personally? Well, I'm already training the after school summer day camp staff, right? We got some really good new people coming aboard. So I'm working with them one-on-one, a little more privately in groups of 3. I really want to impact them and help their mindset and cultivate new leadership in that program, inject it with some new life. So I'm choosing to train them a little bit differently. We will have big group trainings with the whole team, but the trainings that we're doing now are for the leads. So that's something I'm doing very different. I've spent probably maybe, I don't know, 40, 60 hours so far going through every page at our website, every page, really understanding the power of a header, right? The top of the fold on the youth karate page, what should be there? Well, we see it. Some of the standard things are based upon keyword searches, right? If I look at keyword searches for camps, it will say kids, what parents search for, right? Kids day camp in Millbrae. That better be somewhere on my website. When they search, I'm not popping up. right? So things like that. So again, going through all of my different photos and making sure. I learned yesterday from somebody, they said, there at least 3 people is considered the sweet spot, the number of people in a photo to be effective. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT that question. It said yes. So when we compose photos, I want 3 people in the foreground, maybe an instructor and 2 kids, and all the other kids are still there in the background, but they're somewhat blurred out. The focal point are the 3 to 5 people in the frame. I get it, and I've organically done that pretty much anyways. Cool, right? I mean, it's really cool to be able to leverage that. So I'm working on our website a lot. I'm going into our social media. I'm also revamping our hard copy handouts that we give out. I'm in the middle of curriculum design. I shot, some of the new curriculum the other night. I'll continue to do that throughout the summer. The thing what that does for me personally, that I think is really, really relevant and real important is I'm not just sitting like a victim. Can't wait for August. Can't wait for back to school. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. I want that August. You know, um, that's such a victim mindset. And that victim mindset for me does not help me become a better version of myself. It doesn't help me get some momentum behind my business. So when people do come back to school in August, it definitely doesn't help me pay the bills during the lean months, right? At all. At all. So again, I want to be as proactive as I can be. I would go into the Chamber of Commerce. I would go into, and find out what community events. We have the big Art and Wine Festival at the end of the summer. We have movie nights in the park where we donate the cotton candy machine, right? I'm even considering putting that cotton candy machine right outside that school. All you got to do is a social media blast. Free cotton candy at One Martial Arts every Saturday from 1 to 2. Do enough of that, put it at the parenting pages, the community pages, spread it out through your own people, right? They're all walking the neighborhood. And again, I'm a huge advocate of location. We're in a good location at both schools. So for them to conveniently be down in the downtown area of Millbrae and stop by and get cotton candy on a Sunday, well, no problem. It's not like you got to do 6 weeks of advertising for those things. And that's often what people think. With the, with the power of social media, there's this thing called Off the Grid here, and it's a group of food trucks, some of the better food trucks, and they'll sit there at Instagram and they'll post, "We're going to be here at 7:30," and it's literally 2 hours out, and it's packed. It's packed because the ability for social media to reach us and communicate with us quickly and efficiently, it's milliseconds now. Milliseconds, right? So again, in relationship to doing these events that you could do all summer long, you still, don't, it's not that you don't have time, but it doesn't mean you should not do it. Oh, it's too late. I can't do day camps. That's not true. You just have to be, you have to hustle, got to grind a little harder, right? As I shared, I'd have a QR code handout in every bulletin board I could find. I would be doing door hangers. I would doing email blasts, in my existing student body. I asked somebody the other day, how many leads do you have sitting in he says, I probably got about 5,000. Well, send them a simple email question in the subject line. They read the email. Are you still interested in martial arts? If so, click here. They click here, they see your summer special. 3 months in a uniform, $297. Boom. I mean, I'm always challenged when people do nothing. Hey, there's Letitia of LC Accounting. What's up, Tish? She's in Texas, as I shared with you guys, doing her jujitsu, her spring training with Carlos Machado. Are you ranking up this weekend, my sister? She might be. And she's out there with the kin boys, Adam and Amon, and then their stepdad's out there too, Jim Morrison. Big shout out to all of them. So think of all the things I've shared with you, and again, for me personally, I'm working on our curriculum. I have to redo all our windows. They just did some new code. Our window clings are too big. So I have to go back and get new petitions and redo all the windows. Great. Got no challenge with it, right? We're revamping our after school program. I want it to be so much better. I just that Kaizen theory of constant improvement is something that will never end. Never end. And I say that passionately as being a business. San Francisco's been in business for 25 years. Since year 7, it has averaged $1 million a year, right? Except for the pandemics and just these past couple of years, but across the board. since 2007 for 18 years, it averages $1 million a year. That's no easy task. And the only way you do that is constantly reinventing, refining, visiting things. What's old is new, what's new doesn't work. And it's that constant. It's constant. But people don't like that because with change comes transition. With transition comes the uncertainty. I've made ads that didn't do anything. I've done events that fell flat. I've executed plans that lost me money. That's just part of the game, right? And if you're not willing to do those things, then you live from analysis paralysis. You live through this, habit of doing things one way, and you'll ever, on any good day, have somewhere from 75 to 100 students. And I've witnessed it, in my past 10 years plus of consulting. I've witnessed so many school owners like that. They come hear me speak, they take the event, they take the best freaking notes, they go right back and do the same. That's a mindset issue. So again, because other than Uncle Sam and taxes, who tells you what to do? Nobody. The city, like now, they're telling me I can't have my windows that way or they're going to fine me. Okay, no problem. I'll get them fixed. Other than those small things on the day to day, the only person who tells you what to do is you. And that's scary, right? That's super scary because you're left to your own devices. You wake up every day and you make it or you break it. That is it. That's the long and short. There's no negotiating that. And I watch so many people, in small business suffer from the victim mindset and they have excuses and they point fingers and they'll give me a million reasons why it does not work. We've done that here. We've tried that. And the first thing I say, well, you tried. That's why you fail. Like Yoda said in Empire Strikes Back to Luke Skywalker, right? When he couldn't lift up the X-Wing fighter out of the moat. I'm trying, Yoda. He says, that is why you fail. You either do or you don't. And if I'm committed to the success of my business, then there's no negotiating. You try one thing. If it doesn't work, you try another thing. If that doesn't work, you try something else until you produce a winning combination. And when that winning combination gets fatigued, you change it again. We're totally revamping our curriculum right now to have that relevancy that keeps people inspired, keeps them training, gets them excited, right? Helps these kids become better martial artists. That's never ending, never ending, never ending. Like Walt Disney said, the work is never done. That's it. The work is never done. There'll always be a new movie to write, a new character to create, a new Disney ride to create, an old one to refurbish or tear down and replace with something else. The work never ends. That is why Warren Buffett still goes to work, right? It never ends. The work never ends. And if you're not okay with that, then I don't know what to tell you, right? Someone said to me, when are you going to retire? I have no need to. I love what I do. I don't wake up and stare at a rock every day on a beach. No way. No freaking way. Because I love what I do. I think people that look at retirement a lot of times it's because they don't like their life. I can't wait 5 more years to retirement, 3 more. That sucks. That really sucks. That's when you wake up and go, all I did was work, right? I spent all my time working, right? I worked 60, 70 years for this money to live this 10-year window of quality life on this retirement. That doesn't cut it. I'm retired every day because I get to do what I do. And I'm leaning into this to close this out today for Success Never Sleeps because I watch you guys summers in and summers out. You're so defeated. Don't be defeated, be inspired, right? Be inspired by what's going on to go out there and get blood from a rock, as one would say, right? Again, it's up to you. It's up to you. All right. So I want to open the floor to questions and anyone else who's back there. I see a lot of people listening. Tell me who you are, where you're from, where you're tuning in from. Go. Got any questions? Put them in there. All right. So then, of course, we're all looking forward to August. Everybody will be, hey, Virginia. Good. I'm glad you're excited for a great summer. You should be. You should be. You should be. You should be. If I were you, I don't know how hot it is there, but because you're on that journey, you journey a mile hike on a Saturday and then work out in the woods. That'd be super cool. What a retention building event. Wow. A woman self-defense workshop out in the wilderness, but it starts with this hike, right? So they're taking an actual journey, Virginia, right? I'm journeying to discovering myself. And then we get to the self-defense workshop. You with me? I think that's cool. Write it down. Write it down. So the other thing is preparing for August. I watch people come to us at Kin and, I won't, I got to put my advertising dollar on hold during the summer. If anything, you better freaking double down because I want to hit August. I want to hit the ground running. Everybody and their mother is going to know who One Martial Arts is. I'm even thinking of doing some direct mail pieces in Millbrae for our after school program because I think sometimes Facebook ads get very fatigued. If I can pick up and hold a piece of paper that says this is our after school program, I'm sitting in the comfort of my home when that mail comes in, could be a good day. Could be a good day. And again, what's old is new, what's new is old. Christopher Pirelli at Dojo Muscle has seen a huge uptick in, direct mail pieces. So maybe I'll explore that again. I don't know. But I'm already thinking about August now. I'm already thinking how I'm going to market camp for 2026, winter of 2025, spring of 2026, and summer of 2026 now. So when they get out in August, when we finish our last week of camp, boom, and everybody's loving us and was the best thing this summer, put it out, put a discount, and go from there. You with me? So getting your ads ready, all your Facebook ads, right? Doing the methodical things, update that Google business page, get your website up and get it dialed in. I've looked at everybody's websites. I'm going to tell everybody on this call right now, your website needs work. I can tell everybody. I can find at least 3 or 4 things that you can improve upon easily. And I'm always doing it with our pages. I did it yesterday. Where it says the online offer, right? Every page it's the same because it's a template thing in Market Muscles. It's a default. But if you go on the back end of your Market Muscles site and you change it from default to custom, it says now 1 free complimentary class. This, opt in for our exclusive online offer. That's just yucky. It's so played out and it's old. Tell them what they get. You opt in, you can get a free class. That's what this is about, right? And we don't say pricing. In our culture, we use the word tuition. We are a school. This is your tuition. It's a learning environment. I don't like pricing. I don't like membership. Something is, well, that's no big deal. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Jesse's asking, I have a small team setting up a table at a school carnival today while I hold down the fort for bell testing. Yeah, awesome. I would make sure that team has a bubble machine. That team would have some kind of JBL boombox playing kids music. I would have a coloring station for those kids to do life skills coloring sheet. The old theory, put out a bowl of candy type thing, right? Anything to get them in your booth, to stay in your booth, to hang out in your booth. It's powerful. And if I can walk out of there with some value, like a board that I break, Jesse, that I get to take home and show my parents and be super proud, that's cool. I think the challenge when people often do booths, they try to make it, geared strictly to sign up people. I'm there to create a relationship. And I want it to be kid-centric and give kids reason to stay in my booth, hang out in my booth, which gives me more time to talk to the parents. You with me? Yep. So, the booth is a whole nother conversation. That's an art form too, I truly believe. And it's really about getting kids in the booth. Somebody said to me, you have a bubble machine. Yep. You give away cotton candy. Yep. You have somebody dressed as Kung Fu Panda in your booth. Yep. Right. You have a balloon twister over there. Yep. You have a face paint over there. Yep. I do. Yep. What does it have to do with martial arts? I said, it has everything to do with martial arts. Well, how so? Well, I understand that this person, I want you here to earn a black belt. That's a 4-year project. That's $10,000 of investment from you, right? I will forego the quick fix of a lead that's not even going to show up, which we know is a numbers game, right? Someone's, I got 800 leads at this event. Yeah. 30 signed up for the trial. Yeah. 2 showed. Yeah. And 1 signed up. Yeah. It's a numbers game, right? It's a numbers game. Some guy was boasting that, he got like 26-month memberships. You know how much he was charging for a 6-month membership? Like $70. Yeah. If I never show up and all I have to pay you is $70 for 6 months, that's a no-brainer, but that is not how you build a relationship. Those are vanity metrics that I think are irrelevant. So I will forego that. And of course, the booth is branded properly and it's One Martial Arts and there's QR codes to click for youth karate. All those things are there. Of course, when they break that board, they're going to do a life skills talk on focus and see the value of our culture. But I do not forego that they are there to spend time with their family. They are not there to sign up for martial arts. They simply are not. And once I tabled that and recognized that, when I got tired of standing in the aisle in my karate uniform with a clipboard, trying to block people as they walk by going, "Hi, how you doing? You ever think about taking martial arts?" Right? Once I stopped that, because of course I didn't know what to do in the beginning either, right? Once I stopped that and really focused on those relationships, guess what? They love having us at the Art and Wine Festival. They love having the cotton candy machine at the 8th grade graduation. They love it. They love it. And we're happy to be part of the community. We are. Virginia, we're hosting Kids Activity Station Tent. Good, good, good. At lots of community events this summer. Awesome. See, that's a great way to use your summer, right? I can complain. Kids are out for the summer. Everybody's on hold. Poor me, poor me. Or I can gear up. Gear up. We had 115 new students in August when we first launched our Market Muscles website. But that was part of it. Also, the whole momentum from the summer, people were just boom, ready to sign up. And that's really it. And that presence during the summer, if all you're going to use is marketing one way to 70 people, which is the school system, forget it. That's only one of 70 ways to market your business. One of 70. And it's not something I recommend, you do as a strategy. That's a great thing, Virginia. Coloring sheets, your journey martial arts, you know, they could tell stories. They could do a lot of things, right? Imagine if you had a social media station set up where the kid could tell his journey, right? If they're regular students, their journey from white belt to their current rank, right? You could role play, cosplay. I look at these Comic Cons and all these people like to role play. Why don't you role play a story, a martial arts journey? You are, a martial arts hero, and you are the, martial arts princess, and together our journey is we're going to do 10 push-ups, and then after that we journey to the castle of the dark deep monster, and to get through there we must do 3 front kicks and 2 punches. You know what I mean? You could gamify that whole darn thing based upon your purpose of journey. Make everything a journey, right? An expedition. We're exploring, we're discovering, right? Journey, there's so many wonderful things, but it's all the storytelling that accompanies it that really makes it a journey. I don't want to see someone standing there holding their black belt and certificate. I want to see a picture of them as a white belt, a yellow belt, a green belt. I want to see the journey. Tell me the story, because that's what you can do with your brand, Virginia, that none of us can do, right? You have that ability. So create that storytelling journey in every one of those booths. Cool? All right. So let's wrap this one up, Marco. I know it was a heavy one today, right? But again, as you see, I'm excited about summer. You give me lemons, I'm going to make lemonade. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. So let's begin by thanking our sponsors. Who do we have? Tucson, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, and Kin Creative. And as I shared with our Kids Love Life Skills, we're now on a subscription-based model for new people coming aboard. I recommend anyone that uses Kids Love Life Skills to move to our subscription-based model. Why? Your discounts are better. Stay with me. Your discounts are better. And you have access to every badge that we have now. And we're going to start a weekly meeting, weekly Zoom, where we strategize on bettering your business. So beyond Success Never Sleeps, I think the Zoom that we have for Kids Love Life Skills will be geared towards badge implementation, how to do live talks, all the different things, plus running your business. So I recommend anyone that's here that currently uses Kids Love Life Skills, reach out to Marco, Letitia, and move to the subscription base. Because I think the discounts are much deeper than what anybody gets now. Cool? And we have new badges coming out. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I'm very proud of that. I love creating new life skills, and life skills are unlimited. So be ready, because we have a lot more coming. A lot more coming. We also revamped the coloring sheets. The artist that's doing the new coloring sheets, we're methodically going in, and the best-selling badges, we're redoing all of the life skills coloring sheets, because this artist is just infinitely better. That's it. That's it. Cool. All right. So I thanked our sponsors. What do you got coming up? It's Time Life Freedom. Please join us in November 8th through 11th, right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. This is our 9th year, our 9th offering. 20 school owners. That's the discipline. 4 days, as I shared. It's a pilgrimage. They come from Germany. They come from Canada. They come from Switzerland, all over the United States. 20 school owners only. For 4 days, it will impact and change your life. Marco will put the link for that there. And our mentoring, as I shared, if you sign up for our mentoring, your second month is free. I did a really great post on the difference between a consultant and a mentor. And it's by design that this is called mentoring. We are mentors. We are not consultants. Go look at my post and it'll really clarify what that means. And I think it is a much more meaningful relationship, and it offers the ability to have a friend, a partner, with you for the long haul of your business. And to me, that's unequaled in all that we do. Cool. All right. So, man, I'm off to Las Vegas. That's right. I'm going to get to go see some AC/DC, hang out with my older son, eat good, spend some one-on-one time with him. And I really look forward to that. Otherwise, I would visit some of my martial arts school owner friends when I'm in Vegas. Not this time, just me and my boy. How do you find me? Well, I definitely recommend you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's a must. There's thousands of hours of learning there. You could spend your time there. People have ran their whole businesses based upon watching our Success Never Sleeps, watching my car talks, watching the things that are there. Do subscribe to the podcast Success Never Sleeps at all the podcast platforms for the convenience of viewing. Follow me at Instagram. Please follow me at Instagram. Join our group, The Disruptors or Success Never Sleeps, at Facebook. For everything else, go to BrannonBeliso.com. Thank you, Marco, for holding down the ship as always on the back end. I'm off to Vegas. I'm Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.